Good morning. I trust everyone is doing well this morning. I know it started off a little rainy, however, we're here, and certainly we're looking to have a great day at school at Pinson Valley High School. I do want to take a moment to remind you of a few housekeeping things that we are certainly trying to continue to make sure and ensure that our students are doing exactly what it is that we're asking them to do. And so one of the very first things that I'd like to say is that we have to do a really good job of visibility and keeping supervision of our students. And what I mean simply by that is, again, when the transition bell rings, please come outside of your classroom doors. You don't really understand the impact that it really has, certainly as an administrator, in being outside and watching when you come out and you help direct kids and getting them to their respective next classes or wherever, the cafeteria, wherever they're headed. That helps tremendously. And so if you would, just be cognizant of the fact that when that bell sounds, certainly make sure that you're getting your kids out, and then more importantly, looking and being very visible. And again, when you see students who try to congregate or run into a restroom, certainly do not hesitate to go into that restroom and see what's going on, especially if you've got a large group. And again, like I mentioned previously, there's only 3 or 4 stalls in there. So why do we have 15 kids in a restroom? So please help us to cut down on some of this loitering is what I would refer to it as being, so we can make sure that our kids, again, are getting to and from class in a timely fashion and that they're not just dragging. And in counting those kids tardy, I know Ms. Wells is saturated with a lot of students, but that's certainly fine. That's what she's doing, is making sure that if we have students with large number of tardies, because you're counting those kids tardy when they are tardy, then we're making sure that those kids go through the process. Also, I sent out this morning a communication log, and what we want to see in that communication log is you communicating with your parents, certainly with students that are failing and not meeting the mark or the threshold of that passing grade, and that you have reached out to that parent and communicated to that parent exactly what is going on with that child in your classroom. And so now that gives us the certainly documentation that we need to be able to have conversations with that parent and also that student. Of course, when we think about what we're doing with our RTI and the PST and the referrals that you guys have sent to Mr. Hogan and also Mr. Noble, that gives our PST team an opportunity to really dissect and look through what is going on with that particular student in your class, and then making recommendations, having those conversations with that student and the student's parents, so we can try to resolve and get this student back to a better place academically, right? So certainly we want you to continue to work hard in that area or those areas to really help our students. We've been in and out of classrooms, administrators have. Certainly we had a walkthrough on this previous week, which we felt went very well. There was a great student engagement. Students were very compliant. Certainly we had teachers with very clear, student-friendly learning targets, and we really felt like that the teachers were doing a good job in an effort to make sure that the students certainly knew what the learning target was, but more importantly, able to explain the learning target and put it in its proper context. And certainly when we look at content, we want to make sure that content is being delivered in a way where the students are receiving it and then being able to, of course, explain it. And certainly that productive struggle and grappling with some of that tougher material as we certainly look to unpack these more robust, more complex, more challenging assignments that we give our students the skills and the tools to be able to do just that. So I do want to say kudos to the teachers, you teachers, because certainly the feedback that we receive from district level and what we've seen ourselves is very encouraging, of course. And you need to hear that, and you certainly want to understand and appreciate the work that you're doing is not going unnoticed, and we greatly appreciate the work that's being done. So when we're in and out of your classrooms, certainly no alarm, just continue doing the job that you've done, and certainly we will be giving you feedback and sitting down one-on-one and really creating the baseline, so when we come back certainly in the spring, that we certainly can see that growth and we have more of an opportunity for talking points as it relates to what's going on in your classroom and the culture, the climate, teaching and learning, progress monitoring, etc. So continue again to do that job. Certainly, you know that spring break is on the other side of the semester, and so right now We got Thanksgiving, we got Christmas, and then spring break, and those are your kind of mile markers. And so, what are we doing leading up to this Thanksgiving break? What are we doing leading up to certainly looking at our Christmas break? And then, of course, we get back spring break, and then it's time to dismiss. And so, we look at our mile markers, and we want to make sure that leading up to these mile markers, that students are in good standing. And if they're not, again, let's have a conversation with those students, those parents, let's document, and let's see what we can do in an effort to encapsulate as many of these students as we possibly can, to save as many of these students as we possibly can from failure. And again, it's a huge undertaking. This work is missionary work. Nobody said it was going to be easy, but it takes certainly all of us working in tandem and unison in an effort to make sure that these goals, these lofty goals that we've set, come to fruition. So if there's anything that we can do as an administrative team, please let us know. Certainly, again, leading up to this Thanksgiving break, we want to make sure that it is one that is a smooth break. And then, of course, we come back and get ready for finals. The final, certainly, testing dates and times have been shared by Ms. Woodruff, and she does an amazing job of getting that information out to you guys, certainly every week with the weekly reminders. So certainly know and understand that we're doing this for your benefit, and certainly make sure that you're looking and referring to those daily reminders, or weekly, should I say, reminders. I will not take much more of your time. I just want to, again, thank you for all that you do, and let's continue to do the small things. If we take care of the small things, certainly it gives us a better chance to resolve and take care of the much bigger things. We appreciate everything that you do. Have a blessed day. And again, if there's anything an administrator can do to help you, please let us know.